Hello everyone, hope you all are fine and safe. Welcome to your e-learning classes. Today in this video, I will be covering chapter 14 of class 5 EVS, When the Earth Shook. In this video, a girl called Jasma shares her experience of an earthquake. So let's start the chapter. But before seeing the story of Jasma, first let us learn what is an earthquake. Now, what is an earthquake? Earthquakes are shaking, rolling, or sudden shock of the earth's surface. More than 1 million earthquakes happen on earth every single year. The 2001 Gujarat earthquake, also known as Bhuj earthquake, was one such earthquake. But most of the earthquakes are not felt by us because they are of low intensity. That means they are not very strong. So we don't usually feel them. When the power of earthquake or the intensity of earthquake is very strong, then it can cause heavy destruction. Now here in the picture you can see some of the destruction and damage caused by the earthquake, where the roads are cracking and all the buildings are falling and making all these buildings have crushed down. So these are the damages that are caused by the earthquake. Now, do you know what is a seismograph? A seismograph is a machine that is used to measure the strength and length of an earthquake. The Richter scale measures the strength of the earthquake. That means the intensity of the earthquake is measured in Richter scale only. So here Jasma is sharing her experience. Help! Help! Save me! There was screaming and shouting everywhere. The ground was shaking and people were running all around. Screaming loudly, I got up. On hearing me, my mother also woke up. She came running and held me tight. It was the same bad dream. It has been more than 6 years now since the earthquake. But in my sleep, I still feel the earth shaking and trembling. I am Jasma. I live in the Kutch area of Gujarat. I was 11 years old when there was an earthquake. So now, Jasma lived in the Kutch area of Gujarat, and when she was 11 years old, she experienced an earthquake. So one day, Jasma woke up from her sleep shouting, where she had a bad dream about an experience when she was a little girl. It was 26 January 2001. Everyone from the village, children and old people, had gathered in the ground of the school to watch the parade on TV. Suddenly, the ground was shaking. People were scared and started running here and there. No one knew what was happening and what to do. There was total panic. Now it was the Republic Day on 26 January 2001, where everyone has gathered to watch the parade on TV. But suddenly the ground was shaking. The people were very scared and they started running here and there, and they do not know what to do. So there was a total panic situation. Now, in a few minutes, our village was flat on the ground. All our things, clothes, pots, grains, and food, were trapped under the stones, mud, and wood from the fallen houses. At that time, everyone thought of two things: to save the people who were trapped and to treat the injured. The village hospital was also damaged. Many people were seriously injured. My leg also got fractured. The doctor treated people with the help of the villagers. 6 people of our village died. My grandfather, Nana, was also buried under the houses. My mother wept all the time. Seeing my mother, I also cried. The entire village was sad and disturbed. So now, when the earthquake took place, within a few minutes, the village was flat on the ground and everything was trapped under the stones. And at that time, everyone thought of only two things: to save the people who were trapped and to treat the people who were injured. The village hospital was also damaged. Many people were seriously injured in that earthquake. The doctor who was there treated people with help of the villagers. 6 people of the village died. Everyone was sad and disturbed. House of Mota Bapu, who is the serpent of our village, was not much damaged. He gave rice and wheat to everyone from his godown. For many days, the village women cooked food together at Mota Bapu's house and fed everyone. Imagine being without a house in the cold winter. Fear and the cold kept us awake in the nights. All the time we were worried that there may be another earthquake. So the Mota Bapu, he was the serpent of the village, and his house was not much damaged in that accident. So he was giving rice and wheat to everyone from his own godown. And many people from the village, they were cooking food together. So the Mota Bapu, he helped the people who were affected by the earthquake. And the people of the villages, they cooked and feed them for some days. But everyone was in the fear that there may be another earthquake. So now let's see what kind of help did the people of the village received. For some days after that, people from the village, some from the cities, kept coming to see what had happened. They came with food, medicines, and clothes. Everyone used to rush to take these things. These kind of clothes that we got were very different. We had never worn such clothes before. People from different groups from the city helped us to put up the tents. Staying in these plastic tents in the cold winter months was very difficult. Some of these people were scientists. They tried to find out which areas have more chances of having an earthquake. People from our village talked to them many times. They had suggestions about building our houses again. So now many people from the cities were coming after the earthquake with food, medicines, and clothes. And everyone in the village used to rush to take these things. How did the people help them? Some people from the cities helped them to put up the tents. But staying in the plastic tents in the cold winter month, it was very difficult, as you know. Some scientists also come and try to find out which areas have more chances of having an earthquake again. Now next, engineers and architects showed us some special designs for houses. They said that with this design, houses would not get damaged much in an earthquake. But our people were a little afraid. They thought if these people build our houses, our village will not look like our old village. So the villagers thought they would build their own houses with their help. The groups would build the village school. So now there were some engineers and architects, and they showed the people of the village some special designs for the houses that would not get much damage during the earthquake. But the villagers, they were little afraid that if the city people build their houses, the village would not look like their old village. So now that's why they decided to build their own houses with the help of the people. We all worked together to rebuild our village. Some people dug and brought the clay from the pond. We mixed the clay with cow dung and made large cakes. We put these on one another to make the walls. We whitewashed the walls and decorated them with beautiful designs and small pieces of mirrors. We put up the thatch roof from our houses, and now the houses shines like a diamond in the dark night. So everyone worked together to rebuild the village again. Now some people, how did they rebuild the village? Some people dug and brought the clay from the pond. Some mixed the clay with the cow dung and made large cakes. So these cakes were put on one another to make the walls. Then some people whitewashed the walls and some put up the thatched roof. And now, after building it, the houses shines like a diamond in the dark night. So now let us learn what to do an earthquake. You need to be very careful in an earthquake. If you are inside, stay inside. If you are outside, stay outside. Stand near the center of the building. Stand away from electric wires and buildings. Now, during an earthquake, if you are indoors, try to stay inside. And if you are outdoors, try to stay outside. In case you are inside, stand against a wall near the center of the building, or stand in a doorway, or crawl under a desk, or you can stay away from windows and doors. And in case if you are outdoors, stay in the open ground away from power lines or anything that might fall. Also stay away from buildings. Don't use matches, candles or any flame things. Stay away from broken gas lines also. And if you are in a car, stop the car and stay inside the car until the earthquake stops. During an earthquake, don't use elevators also because they will probably stuck anyway. Now let us see what are natural disasters. You know about natural disasters? Here are some natural disasters like drought and famine. First, what is drought? It is a long period of time during which no rain falls. So in a drought, there is almost no rain falls on the ground. Second one is famine. What is famine? It is a situation where most people do not have enough food to eat. So during a famine or whenever there is a famine situation, the availability of food is very poor. So there is extreme scarcity of food. Next is a volcano. It is an opening in the earth's crust through which lava and gases escape. You might have seen a volcano in some pictures where molten lava and gases are coming out of the opening in the earth's crust. So the next one is flood. Flood is a situation where water submerges a piece of land. Some other natural disasters are like tsunami and forest fire. So what is a tsunami? It is a series of large waves which occurs generally in oceans. So tsunami generally takes place in the oceans when large waves of water come across the land. Next one is forest fire. It is a large fire which spreads in the forest. Due to some natural reasons or some incident, the trees in the forest catches fire and then slowly it spreads across the whole forest. So that is a natural disaster also. Now moving on, thank you for listening to this video and for your patience.